And today we have a wonderful speaker with us. Her name is Shruti Agarwal, and she is genetic nutrition counselor and behavior change specialist. She is certified by American Council of Exercise and internationally accredited by NCCA. To highlight some of her achievements, she's nutrition and genetic health counselor, psychotherapy and NLP practitioner, past life regression hypnotherapist, acupuncture and meridian science participant, feng shui consultant, bug flower therapy supporter, and aspiring author. Shruti started her career with an MBA analyzing consumer behavior and market trends for corporates, but soon was beckoned by her passion for holistic well being and embarked on the journey of personal growth. She has an experience of a decade behind her as a holistic health counselor and practitioner for therapies encompassing nourishment of human physical body and emotional mind. The journey only keeps getting deeper and better with time. So over to you, Shruti. We are waiting to hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shaina, for that lovely introduction. Hello, everybody. I'm Shruti Agarwal. So I'll be just sharing my screen. Yeah. Okay. So, firstly, I want to thank you, Mr. Manish ji, for sharing those lovely learnings. And my PPT is also, and my journey has also been more on this personal growth front. And our parents are the first teachers and the best teachers of our lives. So when you said that she taught some lessons to you and you shared all that, and simplicity is in your genes, and that enjoy life, live life every moment to the fullest. This is so true because I'm also going to because being a holistic health counselor, it's not only our physical uh, body which matters. So it's everything. It's our emotions, how we are feeling, our moods. So those our mental health actually impacts our physical health a lot, and they influence and how we manifest, how those blocked emotions can get manifested into various health conditions also. So being happy and knowing how to deal with your emotions is a very important part, which is not taught in school. Only our parents teach us how to deal with difficult situation, how to deal with failures, and how to deal with our negative emotions. Okay, so I'll just start my presentation. Okay. I have already, Shaina has already introduced me. So I am a more of a holistic health counselor and not only restricted to nutrition and physical body. And I also realized during my practice of nutrition and acupuncture and all that our emotions play a very important role, and how we behave, our patterns in life, they need to change for to say us uh, a healthier change in ourselves, a happier us. So that's why I then specialized into behavior change and how to change our habits and become a better person for the better quality of our life. I will quote Shri Shri Ravi Shankar ji. He says, "Who is your life partner?" Says, "Our best and the only life partner is our body. You and your body stay together from birth till death. What you do to your body is your responsibility, and that will come back to you. The more you care for your body, the more your body will care for you. What you eat, what you do for being fit, how you deal with stress, how much rest you give to it will decide how your body is going to respond." So it's very important that we do a holistic, we do, care for every part of our body. So, like he says here, pranayam for lungs, meditation for mind, yoga for body, walking for heart, good food for intestines, and good thoughts for the soul, and good karma for world. So, how Manish ji said that, soul purpose. Soul purpose is also very important now. See, when we were young, then that when we were in our teenage and when we were young adults, we were so preoccupied with our jobs. But now God has been kind to us. Life has taken us through this journey, and it's very important that we start looking inwards and realizing our soul purpose, working for the society, start giving to the society, and be a happier being. So, being a happier and more peaceful person, it's very important for us to. So, there are many parts to it. One is self love, and second is also relationships. Without relationships, and self love is something which is intrinsic, right? But relationships is something which depends upon outsiders. So, when outsiders, and what outsiders do is not in our control, but how we deal with it, how we respond to it, is something which is in our control. So that is where our mind management comes in, our mind training comes in, how we train our thoughts. It's very important for that. So if we, as a human being, we deal with emotional challenges, physical challenges, social challenges, environment, our diet, exercise, we might not like enjoy exercising, the work environment, there's too much work stress, spiritual, we are not even we might not be even aware what, there are so many spiritual gurus around, we don't know whom to follow, what to follow, somebody is giving some contradictory information. Then intellectual, our creativeness and our knowledge, we are so engrossed in our work that we just stop doing what we enjoy. Our hobby is what we wanted to, maybe wanted to play cricket and always play cricket. Why have we stopped playing that now? So these small things, these all contribute to our holistic health, or should I say wellness. Wellness is the new word for health, because people think health is only physical body, but actually holistic health has all these dimensions of wellness. You have to be emotionally healthy, financially healthy, socially healthy, spiritual, occupational aspect, physical aspect, intellectual, and environment aspect. So when we say I'm a happy, I'm a healthy person, all these aspects have to be taken care of. We just don't constrict yourself, okay, only I'm fit, I'm physically fit, so I'm healthy. That is not the correct definition anymore. Another learning which I have again learned in my journey is always go to the right person. And counseling helps, plays a very important role. So our first counselors are always our parents to begin with. Whenever we have, so when Manish ji said ki, express yourself, so that's so important. Like as parents, we want our children to express their emotions to us. It is so important. Don't keep them inside, whether they're happy moods, they're happy emotions or they're bad emotions, but they're so important. You know, it it helps you to vent out. It leads to less anxiety, also greater self-confidence, better relationships. So our first counselors in our life is our parents. But as we grow, we face different challenges, and we should not feel shy of not consulting the correct counselors. So if you're having certain challenges, if you're having financial challenges, we should go to financial counselors. If we are having some emotional challenges, we should go to some mental therapist. We should not feel shy, we should try to be aware of it, and take an action towards it. That's very important. And I'm really very happy to announce that our Venus Club has so many therapists who can, they have such variety of experience, and they can help us. It's a one go shop where they can help us in every field. So, it can lead to, if you go for counseling, it can lead to stress relief. It can lead to ability to set new boundaries for yourself, trauma resolution. So all these are very important. So don't take counseling as, don't shy away from it. That is what I have learned. And don't delay it too much. The moment you feel that something is going out of your control and you're not able to deal with it, talk to a friend, talk to your family member, or take professional help. So it's very important the moment it's they say that nip the bud in time, so, and a stitch in time saves nine. That means that it should be timely. Don't Excess of anything is bad. Excess of stress, may it be financial, social, your relationship, anything can create, go out of hand and can create other type of problems, complications, specifically what you call physical complications. So there has been a study which says that if you are in grief for a very long time, it can keep manifesting and it can lead to cancerous situations. It leads to trauma. So that's why I think even in our Vedas and Upanishads, there is a timeline for everything. When somebody dies in our family and we are grieving, we are mourning, there's a timeline for mourning also, 13 days, then 35 days. So beyond that, it goes excess, and you should not be grieving after that. You should go on with life. That gives peace to the departed soul and also the persons who are still living and in your relationships around you. So Manish ji, this is especially for you. I just added this, that it's very important now well, how you have connected to your mother and you have taken her learnings. Now we will apply it. All of us will apply it to enjoy and to live our fullest and to also look for our soul purpose. So I'm really thankful to you for sharing all those learnings with all of us.
The pleasure was mine, Shruti.
Okay, and okay, so now holistic health. I will be mainly now dealing in this presentation today about nutrition and how genes affect our nutrition and our body. Thomas Edison has said the doctor of the future will no longer treat human frame with drugs, but rather will cure and prevent diseases with nutrition. We all know that prevention is better than nutrition, unlike what Madam Banerjee said in her I don't know whether you heard or not. She said, Mamta Banerjee says that cure is better than prevention in her whatever little knowledge she had. That was the funny part in the media. Okay, so we all know this. This is a basic introduction to healthy food and nutrition, that we should have more than 50% or 50% of our plate of every meal should be fruits and vegetables, and only 25% grains and 25% proteins. So this should be our goal to maintain a good physical healthy body. Now, how these nutrients from our food react with our body, how do we metabolize it, is different for every person. We, even in spite of having the food recommended by nutritionists and by the internet and by the health gurus, we still see that 2 million people are deficient in vitamins and minerals. And another research has shown that heart attack, even with people who have normal LDLs is a bad cholesterol, they still suffer from heart attacks. So why do these things happen? So it's very important to realize that these things are result of our genes. It's in our genes. Genes is something which we inherit from our parents. And if we, if we have heart disease, which we have inherited, then in spite of having good cholesterol levels, we'll still have heart problems. So I will explain in a very simple terms how genes work. So you will see here, this is a very physical, because humans can see, they relate to symbolism and physical visuals much more. So here you see that the mother and daughter, they look alike, father and son, they look alike. This is because of the genes. Genes means what we inherit. This is how it works, that if in a child, okay, I hope you can see this. Yeah, so so mother and fathers, their genes, they get combined in a child's gene. But the genes which you have might be different from the genes of your sister and your brother. That is because there are different permutation and combinations. there are different possible choices which will be there. So what you have inherited can be different from what your sister and your brother has inherited. And how it works is like, suppose in a forehead, you have these 4 genes. So there are many more genes which determine the width of the forehead or the color of the eye. Then, so suppose there are these 4, I will take the example of the forehead. There are these 4 genes which determine the width of the forehead. Then so you inherit maybe all 4 of them, but if you have only 2, say EYA4 and GL13, then your probability of having a white forehead will be less. Depending upon the number of genes you have inherited, that will determine how will it exhibit itself in your body. Similarly, how these physical attributes are there in our body, which we inherit from our parents, and it depends upon the number of genes which we have inherited. Our other metabolism, how we metabolize, how we have our disposition to different diseases, that also differs according to the genes which we have inherited. So this science, which talks about how our genes influence our food, our metabolism, how we react to different foods, is called nutrigenomics. And nutrigenomics, and how food influences our genes and how our genes influence our food. So it's a two-way relationship which they have. So to quote Hippocrates, he said, he was the father of medicine. He said, positive health requires knowledge of man's primary constitution. This was just an ancient way of saying that we cannot achieve optimum health without knowing about our genes. We now know that specific variations in our genes can explain how we will respond to foods, beverages, and supplements we consume. So here again, it's been emphasized that genes are very important. And that is one of the reasons why, what food your friend is eating and she is losing weight and you're not losing weight, having the same diet plan, going to the same nutritionist and doing the same things, but she is losing much more weight and you're not losing, or she's having good hair and you're losing your hair. So that all depends upon how your body is consuming or metabolizing that food. Research has shown that weight loss over 12 months, based on a diet which is genotype specific, based on your genetic tests, is 280% more effective than a normal generic diet. So any diets which are given generic to everybody is actually not so effective. Similarly, here also the research done by Stanford University also says that genotype appropriate diets means the diets which are based on, depending upon first you get your genetic test done and then you decide on your diet, that has much more effect than a normal generic diet. So a lot of research has been going on and a lot of genes have been identified for each and every trait. So how this science works is you can collect your gene sample from either your saliva. So this is a saliva kit, which I use. And you can also test your genes through your blood samples. So from this, your genes are extracted, they are run in an algorithm, and we get detailed reports of various traits which you have, which are very specific to your body and your DNA. So some of the things which I'll share with you is, these are the reports which we have. This is the report which will give you all the details. So the gene reports, these are the gene reports which we get after analyzing your genes. It shows you how much proteins your body requires, how much carbohydrate and how much fat. These are the macronutrients. Then also it talks about gluten sensitivity. So we should like now, right now, there are a lot of fad diets going on. Keto diet is going on, then vegan diet is going on, raw food diet is going on. So it's very important that all of us just don't go to any follow any diet without knowing our body first. So we need to stop our gluten only if you're gluten sensitive to it. Gluten is a type of protein, and sometimes what we it's protein is a very important building blocks. So if you're not gluten sensitive, then why do you want to stop gluten? So and wheat also has, besides gluten, wheat also has 10 other type of proteins. We cannot just stop protein and be deficient in other type of proteins. So it's important that first you get yourself tested, what your body is like, and then you follow the diet specifically. Similarly, for lactose intolerance, now people are going stop milk, stop milk. It can be because of religious reasons, it can be because of animal rightist reasons, or but you should not stop. Milk is the highest source of calcium and protein. Is the best, one of the best source. So you just should not stop lacto, which is milk and milk products, just because somebody else is saying. First get yourself tested. If you're lactose intolerant, only then you need to change your diet, change your diet. Otherwise you can continue having milk and milk products because they have their own benefits. Then alcohol flush also. Some people can metabolize alcohol a lot, so means they will drink what you call patiala pegs one after another and nothing happens to them, whereas other people are not able to take alcohol too much. So this also tells you how to limit and when to limit. Then it talks a lot in details about your tendency, your this carbohydrate intake. Then saturated, what type of fat suits you? Saturated fats, monosaturated fats, polysaturated fat, which is best for your body. So here you will see the orange is the moderate. This tells you your ability to deal with such saturated fats. How are they metabolized in your body? So here it's green in saturated fats. That means the tendency of the person to gain weight from saturated fats, that is from ghee and butter, is low. So if it is low, then why do I need to restrict it? Why do I need to shift to olive oil? Here you will say monosaturated fatty acids. Olive oil is a monosaturated fatty acid, fat. So here it is moderate. So I might gain weight on consuming olive oil, but there's less tendency for me to gain weight if I'm having ghee and butter. So this gives you very straightforward science and evidence-based information that what you should include in your diet and what you should not include in your diet. Then it also talks about, the nutrition report also gives a lot about minerals and vitamins. So your calcium needs, your choline needs, your copper needs, iron, magnesium, all these testing you cannot done from your blood tests. All these, but you can get all these details from your genetic tests. So once I know this, like the person needs more zinc, he needs more, see in this. So you need to significantly increase zinc intake. So as a nutritionist, if I see this report, I can tell you what are the foods which are rich in zinc, and you should include it in your daily diet or weekly diet, healthy plans. So let us not call it diet, we will call it healthy eating plans, which is suitable to our body. Let us take the example of a screwdriver. Okay, now you know that a simple screwdriver with a normal screwdriver will not work with every nut. Now there are different type of nuts, Japanese nuts, Chinese nuts, different nuts. So we need specialized screwdrivers to open those nuts. So those bolts. Similarly, for our body also, we need these specific nutrients to be careful of to deal with our problems. Then we have another report, which is the fitness report. It talks about our endurance exercise, how much we need that, our aerobic capacity, our heart capacity, lung capacity. So this type of a report, the fitness reports, gives us a very good indication of what type of exercise will suit me, whether I should concentrate more on my strength building or on my endurance. Should I go more for swimming, or should I spend more hours in the gym doing weightlifting? This is again very specific and according to our body. And then I will, after going through this report, I recommend people that how should they divide their exercise regime. The third report which we have is the health report, and it talks about some genetic risk for 45 plus health conditions. Here I have just mentioned a few which are more common. The others are in the report. So here it tells you about your genetic risk of developing, say, type 2 diabetes. So if your parents have diabetes, it is not necessary, though it's an inherited disease, it is not necessary that you will also have high risk of developing diabetes. Maybe your sister or brother will have high risk, maybe you have a low risk. So if you have low risk, then you need not go very very strict on sweets. So you can have one jalebi in a day and then exercise. But if your sister or brother have high risk of diabetes, then for them, they know that they have high risk, and even that one jalebi can be dangerous for them. So that this is how where preventive nutrition comes in. So once you're aware of what risk, what you are more prone to, what are your risk factors, then you can take preventive actions and change your lifestyle. So this is also called lifestyle medicine. Means you can make your lifestyle you can change your lifestyle according to your body type and according to what suits you and what does not suit you and what is not good for you. Even for, see, glaucoma is high pressure in the eyes. So if you have high risk and you're aware of it, that I have a high risk of developing glaucoma, then when you're going for your annual checkup, you should make sure that you go and visit an eye doctor and tell him to check your eye pressure. Because the earlier any health condition is got, the earlier it is, the treatment can begin, and it will delay and prevent any more complications. So we are at the end of my presentation. Any questions and answers, if they are there, you can please ask me.
Hi, this is Johnson. I have a question in terms of, the older generation, when it comes to nutrigenetics, they would do a trial and error method. Probably they would eat something, let's say talking about lactose intolerance. They would, if they find, dietary, this thing has an intolerance, then they would stop. So, I mean, they would do this trial and error method. And I think most of us are still doing that kind of stuff. Is that okay, or is it urgent that we need to go and do a DNA test and get all this, reports generated?
So trial and testing it can be dangerous, and because it can take a lot of time, and you will see how in a blood report you will come to know of a vitamin D deficiency only when you get a blood report done, or when you start having aches and pains and the orthopedic tells you please go and get yourself tested, right? So that comes under treatment then. That if something is deficient in your body or something is not suiting you, it has already reacted with you. And then you say, oh, I'm getting active. And if you get these tests done and you know that you are prone to, say, vitamin D deficiency or some other allergen, then you yourself will prevent yourself from even getting those so this is very important that you get these tests done so that you're aware and you don't take chance, because sometimes can go absolutely wrong, right? If you react to something and let's take diabetes only. A very common, India is the capital of diabetes, right? We all have sweet tooth. In all our festivals we eat sweet, we celebrate with sweets. So it's a very common part, but somewhere we know it's not good for us, but we still go ahead with it. So if you're aware if you're aware that you have high risk of diabetes, then you are more conscious. And if you have low risk, then you say, okay, I will exercise and I will eat. So it's important that you are aware of what's there. If you keep eating sweets and you wait for your glucose levels to go and you're already on medicines, then it becomes very difficult to reverse. It is possible. We can easily reverse now diabetes and hypertension also, but it will take a longer time. So why do you want to even reach that stage? So preventive nutrition is all about that. Don't even reach that stage. Prevent it in time.
Sure. So in that case, once a child is born, if at birth itself, if this gene history is taken out, I think then they can prevent it lifetime, right?
Yes.
In advance itself.
Yes.
So you can control your diets, etc.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
So, but for us right now, we are doing it. So we don't blood. You can get the gene testing done through blood, but we do it with saliva because it is less invasive. And small kids also, once they are ready to spit in the tube, then it's easy to administer.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
So Shruti, what about pregnant mothers who incur diabetes in pregnancy?
Yeah.
And then many a times it stays with them. So what do you have to say about that?
That is gestational diabetes. That happens because of the hormonal fluctuations during pregnancy. And that is something which cannot be determined in the gene test as of now. So we don't know whether you have a tendency to develop gestational diabetes or not. But once you have developed gestational diabetes, then through diet control and through these genetic tests, once we know that what type of foods suit you, so then we can modify your diet, and that gestational diabetes can be reversed.
Okay, so it can be reversed, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. And how often do you have to do the saliva test? Like once you do the saliva test, you know, okay, what is wrong and what is right, and then accordingly you follow the pattern. So like we do regular blood test every year, how often do you do the saliva test?
It's once in a lifetime. Like how George said, even when the child is born, if you do it then, it's your DNA is already determined at your birth.
Correct.
So it stays with you. It does not change. So it's once in a lifetime saliva test, and you get the whole reports. And because it's a new science and new traits are being discovered every day, so new reports keep coming out. So that with the same saliva, so the company, my partner lab, it's called a raw data about your genes. So there are some lakhs of genes which they analyze and which they keep as in their database. And then if new reports are coming out, then you can generate with the same sample, you can generate new reports. But it does not change. Your genetic makeup does not change. So it's once in a lifetime. You don't have to repeat it.
So then that means then regularly based on this we get our blood reports to check the improvements, right?
Yeah, blood reports are different. See, blood reports are more diagnostic, and these tests are more preventive. And diagnostic, so deficiency you will come to know only from your blood reports. Okay, so this will tell you that, say, you have a tendency of having vitamin D deficiency. So if you get your blood reports regularly, and you will make sure that you do your vitamin D, and if it is deficient, then you take supplements. Yeah. So prevention, we mainly don't go for supplements. We usually go for in food, natural way. And only if the blood reports show some extreme deficiency, we recommend supplements.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions by anybody?
Yeah, so Shruti, now this saliva test which you're talking about, this I can get it done from Suburban Diagnostics or any other pathology lab, or there's a special lab for this?
No, there are special labs. They have these American machines and American algorithms, and you cannot get them done from any of the labs.
Okay.
But these they have like HealthSpring. They have a package, So
Okay.
if so they can collect it for you, and then they can send it to the lab and get those reports for you if you want. Or
Okay.
you can always contact me. I also have these saliva kits, and they're portable. So
Okay.
I can come over, or I can courier them, and you can send it to me, and I will send it to the lab.
Oh wow, that's great. I think it makes sense to get the entire family get the test because the DNA will be common in the family. Like daughters and father maybe will have similar DNA, right?
So they will have a little similar DNA, but like I said,
Hmm.
it differs from every person to person.
Hmm.
So it's like you have a strong resemblance to your mom,
Yeah.
but your father had a different DNA,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Similarly, your sisters also will be looking different. So
Yeah. Yeah.
for your family, so they do have similar, but they don't have the exact DNA.
What
So
about
if you,
twins?
sorry,
What about identical twins? Will they have similar DNA?
no, not all of them. No.
Okay. Even if
Yeah.
they're
So there
identical.
will be certain traits which will differ.
Okay.
Genetics is very complex. There are a lot of
Oh.
permutation and combinations.
Okay. Johnson, you look so good in that surrounding. I don't know where are you, but it looks like with some high-rise building behind you.
I'm outside. I'm just taking vitamin D3.
Yeah, looks like. Yeah.
So,
Johnson,
so,
it's good to
it's
see
a
you
winter
smiling
morning, so
and
it's
see
good to
you
take.
with your video on.
Thank you.
Morning sun and winter
I have
sun.
one more. What is the price range for this?
So it depends
Shruti, what is the
upon
price
the,
range for this test?
yeah. So the cost of the test, the lab test is constant. It's a fixed cost, and then it varies with the number of reports you want. So if you want one report, it will be less. If you want 3 reports, then it will be more. It will keep increasing little bit, not too much, because the fixed cost is the same. So the first report will cost you around 15,000, and then it's an increment of 2,000, and it will include my counseling about what to do and how to interpret those reports and how to convert it in your daily diet and your lifestyle changes.
All
Any
right.
other questions?
Shruti, I wanted to know which company are you attached to and how long does the report take to generate?
I'm attached to Xcode. It's a Chennai-based company, and the reports take around 6 weeks to come.
Okay, thank you.
So, any more questions by anybody? Or I guess we are at the end of the talk. So, thank you very much, Shruti. It was indeed very educative, informative, and enlightening, and definitely, this is a good way of taking your test. Absolutely non-invasive and very good for people who are have phobia of the needle. So yes, we would definitely recommend. And is there a package that you can work out for the Readers Club members, so that we can definitely look into it, as a group? If you could give us some offer for the members, that would be really very nice, and we could definitely offer it to all our members who are willing to take this test and move ahead.
Sure. I'll share it with you.
Yes. So thank you so much, Shruti. And members, so here we take a 10-minute bio break. Get your tea, coffees, take a round around the house. And we'll see you in exactly 10 minutes from now. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks.
Kamal, you can stop the recording.